lately. We've all been doing it. We've all been actually slammed with a lot of downloads coming in, a lot of clearing and purging. And it doesn't matter what level you're on, we've all been given this. A lot of light workers and starseeds are going through purging, clearing, stuff that's coming up through our Akashic records, ancestry. It's for us to clear, purge. And I did a video, if you go back further down, and I said a message from the angels where I was shown that people, humans, are affecting Earth's magnetic grid. So what we're seeing going on with Earth, the shifting, the moving, the fractures, the earthquakes, the volcanic eruptions, and that's how I said we actually impacting the Earth because what we're holding in us, all the negative anger, fear, chaos, like we're seeing going on with planet, division, hate, anger, fighting. But yes, I got that because we know we're all connected, but I didn't see how we were connected. That part I wasn't sure. So this morning I sat in a meditation. I've been working on Earth's grid, like I said to people, we're all trying to free Earth's grid because some people are trying to manipulate Earth, prevent her from ascension. They've actually put blocks on her, the grid lines. Earth's got grid lines, magnetic, the fault lines, grids. Ley lines and all those things. There's specific ley lines, energy points on the planet, grids. Now they've tried to put blocks on them and stop Earth. So they're manipulating or trying to suppress Earth's ascension. Because she goes 4D, then she goes 5D. She hasn't got the 5D yet, as some people say. So she's on her way and they're trying to jam it, and they've apparently put a seal on one and blocked on the one ley line, which I shared on my Facebook page at school, which I actually did see, because when I dropped into the center of Mother Earth, I saw this whole red energy. And normally her core, her heart center, her energy center was purely like a massive crystal. It was almost like a cave of huge crystal energy. And it was glowing, as I said, Earth's ascending. It was amazing. First time I seen her fully active, and then the light was just emanating out of the energy, and she was active and she was going. She started, so she was fully on. Then after listening to this, and I dropped into Mother Earth again, I saw this red energy, and it was like a block put on her heart. So she was almost like it was blocked. You wanted to try and go in and send Mother Earth love and see her heart center, and it was like covered in this red energy. So they are trying to, apparently they put a seal over the one ley line coming straight to the UK. And I shared that on my timeline. There's another young woman she seems to be very connected and it seems to be in her lineage, or her speciality on Earth is to work with Earth's ley lines and grids and portals. That seems to be, obviously, she's done many lifetimes of this, because it was way above me. I was like, wow, I didn't know that. Anyway, so I figured that out. So we've been called to anchor in, like I made a video, to anchor in light into the planet at the moment, really much needed to counteract the darkness and dense energy. So all of us were called to pull in a massive amount of light and hold light into the planet as well, send it into Mother Earth. So pull in from source. I made that video, that previous video, right? But this morning I sat in meditation. We're all doing purging, clearing, and shit's coming up. You just think, wow, there's a lot of it. And went back. Now, this is connected to Mother Earth's grid, because I've been sitting and I've been especially connecting to the trees or going in nature, putting my hand on the earth and pulling in light from me in love, that pure source love and light, and pushing it into the planet to help her. I'm trying to rinse, to wash, like almost put a blast of light through her grid to clear her grid and this energy that's holding her down, that's trying to trap her, to like put a massive force of light through and blast it off the planet. And put a shield of light, almost like a pure love, pure light, high freak, around her to protect her from any artificial interference, AI, that's nonsense. All artificial, and also transmute. We all need to do that. We need to say it and provoke it, all artificial. Whether it's, as you say, the matrix, artificial, holographic nonsense, AI, technology, as you say, these germs and anything to do with that. To transmute and clear all artificial that is not for the highest good for Mother Earth. That's causing harm, whether it's the chemicals, whether it's the Wi-Fi, all of that. So I did that. I gone into nature and sending this in and trying so she can clean herself from all this artificial nonsense and stuff that's trying to suppress her in technology and things. But this morning I sat in my meditation and it made sense now, because I've got all these pieces, but I had downloads as well last night, a lot that came in. Why the problems are. Now, I listened to a channel from Lee Carroll. He channels a being called Cryon. who's not a physical being, is a part of source, magnetic sort of energy. Um, and I tapped in to sort of see if this was genuine, and I got, yeah, he's not, he genuinely is, he's generally channeling something from source. It's genuine information. The information that he's channeling is true and thing. What I asked and what I saw, what I was shown, I asked about that. And it does resonate, because I've actually been getting things that are coming through in work. And then I've gone and found his video, like later I listened to the video. I was like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what we've been guided to do and what's happening. So I can verify that this Lee Carroll, the original channel, there's a lot of other channels that are copying his work and sending it out. But his is Lee Carroll Cryon, is official, is one, his genuine channel. Now, I listened to something the other day explaining Akashic records, and as we go up, what Akashic records were, and that we no longer will need them. We're able to clear them completely. Those were for the 3D. This was what people thought was karma, the energy that pulls and pushes, whatever you haven't cleared. So it's going to keep coming. It's like a pull and push. That's just how the universe works. Our energy works in this universe. So we called it karma, but we misunderstood what it was. So what he explains, and this was what I've just discovered, and also for many people and friends and light workers that are getting their memories back, it's not true. The Pleiadians seeded the humans, this human race, not the previous ones. There are many before us that didn't make it, that were wiped off or wiped themselves off. So we had about 3 or 4 apparently before us that didn't make it, so they were annihilated or annihilated themselves. And some of them we won't ever find. The one before us, we're going to find that trace, but apparently the 2 before them, we won't. It's so far back in Earth's history and so deep down and gone, we won't find it. So there were many other races, like I said, tried to do. They seeded other planets, but they didn't make it. Beings like us, they destroyed themselves, blew their planets up, or whatever else. We are the only ones so far that have made it this far to the awakening section, where we didn't, get to a point of evolution where we wiped ourselves out or blew our planet up, which other beings have. Secondly, what he also discloses, that not all beings have this spark, like I said, multidimensional from source. They don't come from the creator. They weren't given the soul. Like, this is an experiment, Earth. Earth was made as an experiment between light and dark. Polarity, good and bad, light and dark, whatever you want to say, light, evil and good, whatever you want to say. It was an experiment. It was to see what would happen in free will. But we were given souls from source, from the creator. So we were given that to do this. Anyway, not all beings apparently have got this, and this is why we have issues with other beings ciphering off us and looking for this, because it's not our DNA. They think it's our DNA. Our DNA is our memory. I'll explain that. Our soul, the part that comes to Earth and chooses, drops into the human body, is eternal. That comes from source. That comes from the light. That's what they're seeking, but that's why they can't get it anyway. You either have it or you're not going to. It wasn't meant. You weren't created like that. So I don't know why that happened. Anyways, it just was. So what I discovered now in this healing work, if you want to help Mother Earth, you have no idea how we are holding, and it made sense now. When we drop back into Earth to carnate into a human body, what happens is the minute we drop in, we hit Earth, the first breath you take, it connects you straight back to Earth's grid, Earth's magnetic field. You're automatically connected, and that is your Akash. Our Akashic records are stored in Earth's magnetic or field, right? Because everything's energy. Every human that's ever carnated on this planet now, that energy, that ancestry is stored there. So what we didn't clear, and what our ancestors have gone through, trauma, this, that, in your Akash, is kept there. So could you imagine, even now, what people are holding in now, anger, fear, all these things. This is why it made sense now, why we are affecting Earth. So as whatever humans are walking around, the level of consciousness, what they're holding in their being, love, whatever else, this is what we're going to see displayed, as they said, so within as without, So this is why we've always known this, as above, so below. This reflects energy in the galaxy, same sort of thing. Because our galaxies, it's not universes. Our galaxy is not the same as other universes or other galaxies, which I quite believe. They're different energy. They even have different physics. They don't even function the same way. So we mustn't think about other universes. The life that we have in this universe, like this type of life, like we have, human and whatever else, other beings and birds, is found in this galaxy. But a human's Akashic records, any history of your being a human is only held on Earth. So while you're on Earth, you can only tap into human history. what you had, what you've done here as a human, whatever, how many incarnations, your ancestors, that DNA. Because the minute you drop into this human body, take your first breath, poof, you're connected to Earth's magnetic field and your DNA. Everything that's stored in this DNA through your ancestors is in memory. So whatever your ancestors have experienced and haven't cleared, and trauma, which often you have these called past life trauma, you are picking it up. So I discovered this morning doing a meditation. It was really interesting because we all been getting some deep stuff coming up. We're all getting purging and clearing and stuff like way you don't even remember. And going back, I'll get into stuff off planet, why you're also remembering things off planet and where that comes from. But human DNA, let's just discuss the human part. Every human being that you've connected to, or your ancestors, whatever, you dropped into this DNA, is stored in your DNA, in memory, in the DNA. So you'll remember it, and you're into the Earth's magnetic field. We need to clear it. And this is why we're trying to clear, we're seeing the problems we're having on the planet, and we're trying to, never mind earthquakes, volcanic, massive disruption and shifting. Is exactly what's going on with the human race right now. Massive shifting, massive division between the densities, 3D consciousness, higher 5D consciousness, 4D. I mean, it's just crazy on the planet. The craziness we're seeing within, all the division and people and hate and fear, and the same you are seeing expressed on Earth right now, in her physical, in the atmosphere, in whatever, everything. So, all light workers are going through major healing, purging, and shit's coming up. Right deep stuff. This morning I sat down and I was showing a few things I can't remember. I often get visions and stuff that's coming up and not pleasant, nothing I want to see. And then I went in and I was told before, because I've been working on it, I know things are popping up. You find you're being triggered and you like stupid things are triggering you. Maybe your family or your kids, whatever, everything that you've got to come is, we're being triggered. Something's going to trigger you, whether it's the news, it's fear, and you think, why is that triggering? Okay, a lot of it's propaganda, it's feared. You can tap into the things. You can see the news going around in the truth communities has the fear frequency. It was designed to make all these poor truth seekers fearful. But let's forget about the external. All right, it's a good thing. It triggers you. It's a good thing. It shows you got things you haven't cleared. So I said, now this is very important for all women and men on the planet, because if we want to get to our peace on earth, which we will, to get to this heaven on earth, peace on earth, unity, consciousness, love, vibration, frequency on it, we need to clear our DNA and Earth's grid. Because if it's held on Earth's grid, we're not going to clear it. Because every person that connects now into your grandchildren, we're talking about your lineage, that you say we each got a body now. We've chosen this body. So you're going to have children or your grandchildren, anyone in your family that drops into this DNA in your family is going to pick up what's in Earth's grid. It's stored, all that energy that was never cleared, and problems and ancestry and the wars, plagues, medieval times, the Crusades. I mean, we've had some perversity. We lived through this barbaric times. And we've done all kinds of horrendous things on the planet. And you don't even remember things, and you wouldn't have been told. Your parents might have kept things from you. They won't tell you. Your grandparents might have hid secrets from you. They won't tell you because it wasn't a right to talk about bad things in those days. Your sacral chakra. Please go through your chakras. It saves you time going through, emotions or looking for something in your childhood to clear this. They're held in different chakras. Women need to clear, this is what we've seen on the planet. You'll go into your sacral chakra and ask, is there anything that needs to be released and cleared and cleansed from the sacral? Now that's connected in this planet, which is a lot we're seeing, and everyone will be affected by it, with sexual energy, promiscuity, abortions, stillbirths, anything to do with the womb and sexuality. So whether it's sexual rapes, molestation, sodomy, you've experienced, your grandsister, your uncle, your father, your mother, your cousin, your daughter, well, if you don't clear it, it's passed down to your children and your grandchildren, and it will stay on this planet. That problem will stay here, cleared. So we want to remove these things off the planet. We're going to do it in ourselves, every one of us, male or female, especially female because of the womb. So females that have had maybe a lot of abortions in their family, stillbirths in their family, issues in their family, something is caused it. Something that's in the Akashic records and your DNA. And it will repeat in the family. Labor problems, sexual promiscuity, any sort of problems, okay? You might not even be aware of them. So I sat this morning, and I know there are some in my ancestry, in my family, some I was aware of, my mother, and I've seen it repeating. I can see it clearly repeated in a pattern. So it affected me, affected my child. I watched it, but a lot of it we don't even remember because it's held way before our mother. If your mother or parent had it and it's passed on to you, and where did your mother get it from? Her father or her mother? They got it from. So I mean, we're talking. This goes back, people, way back. So I sat at the end of my meditation, and I asked him, and I dropped into my sacral chakra, and oh my gosh, did shit come up? And now I went and I asked, where the crap did this come from? And I saw so much stuff held in this family that I didn't even know existed long before. Maybe it was me. Maybe it was, me. Yes, it also, that's what I'm saying. It could have been me, one of my past lives, hundreds of years ago. But there was a woman. It was you. They say you are your ancestors anyway. It's just you. You think you're their ancestors, but it's the same person. So you're just speaking to your old self. So I dropped back in, and there was, we're talking about medieval times. There was a woman who was pregnant. Now, was a jealousy thing or something happened, but she was cursed. Someone put a spell or a curse on her. Whether she was pregnant with someone they liked or whatever happened, I'm not sure. I didn't go into details. So I was called in my meditation to clear. Now be careful when you say this because we don't know this happens sometimes. So go through chakras and be careful because in your ancestry, I'm very sure because of the ages we've lived through and the dark ages and the suspicion and the witch hunts and all that nonsense and crusades and whatever. We were very backwards. So please go and have a look. Somewhere along the line, there's a very good chance every single one of us has been cursed some way by an angry stepmother, cousin, a sister, who knows, and anybody, a boyfriend, cheated, whatever, jilted something, or you shouldn't have been pregnant and you weren't married in those days and it was like a big curse, you were sinful or whatever else. So when you do your clearing of your chakra, your sacral for women, please clear it from all things, any curse, okay, any curse, any spell. So someone could have put a spell on you, gone to someone and got them to put a spell on you, a curse purposely, witchcraft. So any black magic or witchcraft or intentionally cursed you. So a curse, black magic, spell, witchcraft, bonds, ties, promises. Please make sure you clear everything. Okay, contracts and agreements. Because sometimes you can promise, you lose someone, I'll never do that, I'll promise you I'll never have one, I'll never have a child again. Who knows, your ancestor could have done that. Or whatever. It's passed down, this trauma, even stillbirths. All right. So clear any curses, spells, promises, intentions, ties, cords, bonds, contracts. Just think of everything. Clear and release. Say, I revoke. You must please say that. I revoke all spells, ties, curses, promises, bonds, contracts, agreements, intentions, whatever. That's it. From my DNA, from my cash, from all my ancestors. Okay, you will see. I saw this and I was amazed how many souls came forward. And now what you're going to do is you're clearing it from all of them, and intend your children or your grandchildren if you've already got grandchildren. So make sure, and I called in Archangel Michael and I asked him to cut this, and I just saw, wow, you can't believe the amount of strings. It looked like massive spaghetti string all around. There was just these tie strings going, cords, you would free them from all cords, ties, because sometimes these are cords attached. It's coming to past life. It's bled into us. Believe me, people. Every one of us that does it, even if you can't find something, you are freeing and making sure you're cleaning that from Earth's grid. We're releasing Earth's grid from any of this negative thing. So anybody else that's born down the line will not bring this in. There'll be no pedophilia, maybe they were sodomized, stillbirths, abortions, any of this dark thing, negative energy, trauma or cause. Well, I tell you what, he came down with his sword and cut all these things away. There were so many. And I especially asked, and I called them in and I asked them to send healing and love to all those souls that suffered. I asked for any, forgiveness for if I've done anything, hurt anyone, whatever. Then I also called in all the souls, right, that were hurt by this. So that, people lost their moms, that lost their children. So in your ancestry or whatever you were, you maybe even your ancestor, that you lost a baby was stolen from you, or it was stillborn, or you were raped, or yeah, whatever. So I called them all, and I said, and I asked them to please send love and healing to all beings that were affected by any of this. And so many beings were there, and you could see them getting lighter. And I asked, and I sent love and healing and forgiveness to all beings that were affected, and I released them. I revoked this any spell, contract, things right throughout my ancestry. Released every being, all being. So you release everybody, you cut all the bonds, you make sure all those things, cords are tied. So now you've set everybody free. Please send them love and healing into yourself. So you've released your children. Please make sure you also go to the future. You're releasing them from this because it was tied. It came through you, eh? Because it came to your ancestors, to you, to your children, your grandchildren, whatever. Then what you do is ask them to also please to take this light and please cleanse the Akashic records and Earth grid, because Earth grid is your Akashic records. They are stored in her grid. The minute you connect, you pick up those Akash where you left off, or your past person left off. You pick it up. So when you come back, or anybody else comes back, your lineage, whatever, they will not pick up that Akash. All of that will be wiped and clean. There'll be no trauma to pick up. And it's not affecting Earth's magnetic field. That negative energy has now been washed off Earth. And if every single one of us did that, then if you go into your root chakra, you can clear. That's where the ego, arrogance, judgment is your separation, because it's all separation. We were told, oh, we need this polarity, this good, light and dark, good and bad, male and female nonsense. We actually don't. That was for 3D. When you go up above now, you actually don't need. You can completely clear your Akashic records and choose from now on. So this push and pull, or whatever you thought was karma energy, you can cut yourself from it. You can free yourself from complete karma now and completely clean that Akashic record. You have no residual energy. You can start from you now, choose and create your lives, your carnation, your anything after that. That you can do. So we do not need I. People think that's ego. It was designed here for this thing. And this is what's caused most of the problems on the earth. Separation. Me, myself, I. I am great. He is this. So, of course, you're going to compare. When you've got I, it's separation. So now it's causing you to compare. Well, he's better than me. I'm better than him. Or he looks better than, whatever. This is what is the division. What you look like, what you have, what he has. Judgment, ego, arrogance, all the dark. That's why when we see the negative, you see that red energy around people. That's the root chakra they haven't cleared and worked on. That's the lowest, as most people. That's where all the dark problems on the planet are coming from, the root chakra. Arrogance, ego, judgment, as being better than somebody else kind of thing. That's a very low base chakra. That's 3D. So yeah, I suggest you go into your chakras one by one and do clearing. But men need to clear their sacral, because men will have maybe sexual issues, right? Whether it's pornography or sodomy, because they don't even know if it was someone in your family had a problem. And if you are a very overactive, maybe, you can't sort of, you have a problem with women, or you're just, promiscuous, whatever it is. These things are for a reason. They come down, they stored that energy, and that trauma is stored in your cache, and it's come through your ancestors. You're not aware of it. And you are freeing it from the planet. So anyone in your family now, your great-grandchildren, your children, whoever has a baby now, they will not be affected or fall under that karmic or that energy, and you've freed Earth. So we'll have no more people connecting into Earth with any problems in that area, whether it's child abuse, molestation, rapes, any of those things. You are wiping. So you are making sure, and you are freeing everybody in your family, your ancestors and your children, and you are making sure no one connects back into Earth with any of that trauma and negative energy, and it will not repeat in your lineage at all. It's wonderful. This is how we get things. People just think now, I've got to raise my consciousness, but if we don't clear it from our DNA and from our cache, so please ask them to clean it from both. The memory, you don't need to retain that energy in your DNA. Ask them to wipe it from your DNA, and ask them to clean it from your Akashic records completely. You do not need to retain that memory, that trauma, that nonsense, that energy at all. So you'll be amazed when you see all those beings. You can't believe your ancestors appear, these like souls, and you see them getting lighter. So you have now sent healing to them. You've healed all those parts and all those past lives and ancestors and people and beings that maybe, you know, that lost stillborns, other beings that, you know, couldn't carnate and things like that, or that were aborted, or who knows, you know, cloned, murders, who knows, cloning problems, you know, people have been abducted for this cloning nonsense, hybridization, breeding programs, whatever they were. There's so much going on to do with that, and human entities is a problem on this planet, massive issues with that whole area. Birth, reproduction, sexual. Please, everybody work on that. Because once you clear it completely from your root or your sacral chakra, you make and your Akashic and DNA, you have now cleared it from Earth grid. Her ley lines, her whole grid is now cleared from that. We are releasing Earth from dark, dense energy. And please do root chakra. Oh my gosh. No, that is what we told, because this was what we learned. This because we were in 3D, so we were told this, you know, the male, the female. This was just passed down from our history, right? From the originals or early people, whatever, Hinduism, Buddha, whatever it is. Because we were in 3D, they were trying to teach us the good, the bad, the yin, the yang, the light, the dark, the male, the female. That's 3D. We are leaving 3D behind. No, we don't need duality. Duality is a lower density consciousness. Unity consciousness, because we've never passed this threshold before, remember? So we had duality, male, female, good, bad, light. That's nonsense. No, it is not part of the future. It is part of our 3D contracts. Maybe you were taught in yoga and things like that. We are leaving it behind. Unity consciousness. We are all connected. We are all one is where we go, and we're trying to get 5D. Where there is no divide. There's no I. Light, dark, good, bad, him, her nonsense. Gone. Because in that root chakra, I is separation. Him, her, male, female, this, that is nonsense. That's what we're leaving behind. So a lot of people are confused. They think, oh yeah, we're supposed to. You must balance the dark and light. This is all teachings. This is what we were taught on the planet. They came to try and teach us to evolve. So they were explaining the situation we were in, which is light and dark. It's half duality. Half of you is one side's light, you're good and bad, light and dark, whatever. We've all got it in us. That's what they were told. And this male, female energy, the feminine, the masculine. No, this is a lower density. Okay. We're going to 5D. We're going to unity consciousness or higher. We're all connected. There is no separation. And if there's no separation, there's no I. There's no ego. Then we will not see this division, hate, war, because that's what they see. They see everybody as one, not separate. So you would not hurt one, you won't hurt yourself. Okay, so no, you do not need to retain your ego, which people are saying, teaching you, and male, female, good, bad. No. There's no separation. There's no division, male, female, this and that. We're all one. We're all connected. Yes, we've got different sexes. We're going to have that for reproduction purposes. But there is no, we don't see that separation of, this ego thing and judgment thing, whatever. All right, people. There we are. But it was fascinating to realize, we're actually freeing Earth's grid. Because I've been trying to cleanse it, but also not realizing this is where the connection was. How we are affecting Earth's magnetic field. Her grid is our energy. We are her grid. Everything we do in every incarnation, that energy is stored in Earth's grid. And at the moment, the planet is in an absolute spin because of the fear and propaganda being pushed. So we've got fear, and they're working for it. Oh, look there, and wars, and they're trying to perpetrate. Everything is pushing more anger, more fear, more divide, more. And stop following. A lot of these truth movements, I notice, is purposely pushing out fear. They're just as bad as the non-disclosure, as the propaganda being pushed. People moan about the propaganda being pushed by mainstream, right? They moan about this false and stuff being pushed out. But in the truth seeker movement, I've seen exactly the same. Tap into some of the videos I've seen in information. We don't realize we've got holographic and technology. So many of these short little videos going around the truth movement, little videos, oh, look about this speech. They're able to change the face. So they can take a video where there was original, say, speech in Parliament, completely change the person who's sitting in front of you and their voice. So you do not know. If you're seeing clips, these little clips going around the Truth Seeker movement of, oh, look, this and this man saying that, whatever. Read into the energy. I saw one yesterday and I was immediately, it was fear. That was fear frequency. It was designed with a fear frequency, and it's exactly what it's pushing. So please, people, understand so much that's going around these alternative media things are just as bad, are trying to push. So the mainstream has pushed fear because people are frightened of what they've been told by the news and the government and the media. The alternative thing, they're trying to terrify you in another way. It's all purposely designed, and they're pushing this through me. Oh, be scared of that, be scared of this, and this is bad, and that's going to happen. They're doing the same thing. Tap into the frequency. It's fear. So please, let's hope by Wednesday, this is apparently a good day, which is the day that Buddha ascended and died. It's a day for spiritual mastery, apparently. So you'll find there's going to be huge spiritual work and praise and meditation on Wednesday, which is the 26th, which is the whole thing of Buddha. So all your Buddhists, all your yoga people, all your other people, we're doing massive prayers and meditation and holding the highest frequency and energy and love as possible. So this is a perfect time, as what's the name was saying, JC was saying about the planet, for us to stay off, to make sure you are fully prepared by Wednesday, whichever country you're in. Doesn't matter if it's a Wednesday or Tuesday, because it's linear. It doesn't matter about time. So, which 26th of May, if everybody can take that day to stay off all social media, except only if you have to do work. The minute you finish work, put your phone, your TV off, your everything off, all your LED, all your smart, your tech off completely. If we can have one day dedicated 26th of May to prayer, to meditation, for the highest timeline. Not artificial, okay? Denounce the artificial timeline, the matrix, the AI technology, clone, whatever, drones, transhumanism, we can transmute all that. Choose the highest organic timeline. So you need to hold the highest energy. So please, if everyone can participate on the 26th of May, whichever country and timeline you're on, it doesn't matter. Try and spend it in nature. Okay, and stay off social media. Do a cleanse, do a purge that day, do a prayer, do a meditation. Hold the highest frequency and the happiest, the highest energy. So hold love. So maybe try and do your purging, whatever else the day before. So even if you finish work, make a day where you will not use TV, Wi-Fi, network, any of that nonsense for that day. Try and hold the highest, because a lot of people around the world will be doing this meditation. So a lot of us, as we know, focused on the same thing. We have massive power. And you also have a massive power to jump to them, the highest timeline for yourself. All right. So choose the highest timeline on the 26th of May for yourself. Focus on this beautiful, pristine Mother Earth, free from all artificial chemicals, nonsense, AI, grids, matrices, whatever. Don't even focus on that. You've got to focus on what you want, remember? Because when you're holding that higher frequency, what you focus on is what you manifest. So please, the 26th of May, no technology, no email, no Facebook, no phone, no social media. Try and get out in nature somewhere. Meditate, pray, whatever you're doing, whichever one, it doesn't matter. Choose, see the heaven on earth you want. Please focus on heaven on earth for this planet. Love, unity, peace, clean, beautiful, clean, pristine Mother Earth, nature, trees, food, abundance of food, beautiful sunshine, everything. All right, perfect planet. These people, it'll help. So try and do any of this clearing before, but please do this because you are freeing the Earth's grid. They have tried to suppress it. They put a seal on it. Yeah. Anyway, that's a video I shared on my Facebook page. A channel I came across, and I thought, wow. And then I hadn't been into Mother Earth, so I did drop into Mother Earth, and I was like, oh my gosh. So they've definitely tried to. They've suppressed her ascension. They've put a thing on her. We need to clear, but we can't also clear. It's us that are holding this. All parts of our Akashic record are parts of Earth's grid, which we're holding that negative energy here. All right, lovely people. So let's do the future Earth a favor, your future generations a favor, and Earth's magnetic field. Clear this negative energy, and let's help Mother Earth. On the 26th, please, if you can, go out in nature, send love, pull in pure source, the highest pure source love and light into Earth. Send it into her core, into Earth herself. Put hopefully a force field of light and love around Mother Earth, so the whole Earth encompassed in a beautiful protective light to transmute and keep out all artificial negative timelines that are not for the highest good for the Earth. All right, these spraying nonsense in the sky is definitely not the highest timeline for Mother Earth. So choose the highest timeline, organic timeline, that's best for sentient, which means beings from the Creator. Sentient life, all sentient life, okay, on Mother Earth. Please choose the highest timeline, which is which is organic, that is not artificial, fake. Everything's fake these days. Fake sky, fake moon, fake sun, fake food, fake. All right. Dedicate one day this month, please, 26, to keeping your frequency high, clear, keeping your field clear, pure. Focus on pure love, pure light. Bring it into Earth, into Mother Earth's good. Help her, protect her, yourself, your lineage. Anchor that in. We've got one day. The more the merrier. Please, people. All right. Bye.